Howdy gamers, and welcome to another edition of Bargain Bin Gaming. My name is Patrick Icky Jr., Editor-in-Chief of ReviewFix.com, and this week we will be talking about Fairy Tale Fights for the Xbox 360. Fairy Tale Fights for the Xbox 360 isn't necessarily a bargain bin title, but considering the fact that I just purchased it at GameStop for $20 and it was released in the fourth quarter of last year, I think it's destined to become a bargain bin title. Despite the fact that it's fun at times and it features lush environments, for the most part it's linear, choppy, and repetitive. In the beginning, you watch the first cinema and it kind of catches you a little bit in between. You're like, there's no voice acting, and even though the graphics look pretty cute, they're charming, there's this own unique visual style to the game. It doesn't really do anything to kind of enhance the experience. The story is lackluster, to say the very least. You play either Little Red Riding Hood, Snow White, the Naked Emperor, or what's that dude's name? Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, and you go through all these environments and you do all these like meaningless tasks, like finding the porridge from the three bears and things like that, and you're killing hordes of enemies, and the game is bloody, and even though it's of hack and slash nature, it lacks some of the elements that make hack and slash games so much fun. So let's take into consideration a good hack and slash game. Castle Crashers for the Xbox 360 Live Arcade. Excellent hack and slash, even though it's extremely linear and you can't really walk around and do whatever you want. There's a level up system, you gain new abilities, and the game is incredibly hard. That, combined with the amazing graphics and its own unique visual style, make it a great game. This, even though it has a unique visual style, there's no level up system. There's not even a load or a save system. The game saves your progress and automatically, and if you shut the game off, you kind of continue from the beginning of a part of the level, and once you play through the game once, there's no real reason to play through it again. And even though there's co-op, and that could be fun because the game is bloody and it's fast-paced, it's not deep at all. This game should have been an Xbox Live Arcade game and should have been about 800 Microsoft points. If it was that, it would be a great game, just considering the fact that you could play it and do whatever you want and for $10, you know? But considering the fact that this game came out and they expected to charge people, you know, more than $20 for this game is a little bit ridiculous. You can't level up. All the characters play pretty much the same, and even though the environments are lush and they're pretty, they're well detailed, they all feel the same. So it kind of feels like you're playing the same game, the same levels, just with a different background. And just maneuvering around the environments feels a little off at times, and you can go certain places but you can't go another. And it's really tricky because you don't really know what's off limits and what's not, so sometimes you kind of walk yourself into a corner. Aside from that, the gameplay at times is a bit uneven. Some of the enemies that have guns are far too powerful. Like, they hit you once or twice and you're dead. And there's like really no way to get like to them sometimes because they, again, the environments are structured in a way where like there's a hill right here and you're walking underneath and you can't really get under here. You have to jump or something to get to certain parts, and it's really not outlined. So again, you don't know where you can and cannot go, so unless you run off the screen, you cannot escape the fire of these enemies, and at times, even if the enemies aren't on screen, they continue to fire at you. So luckily, the game, there's really like no way to like lose the game, because as long as you have gold coins, when you die, you lose a certain amount of gold coins. So as long as you keep killing things and getting gold coins, you keep getting life back. So considering that, aside from that, the boss fights are interesting. Again, very repetitive. Remind me a lot of boss fights from like the 16-bit days. As long as you find out the pattern, you're in pretty good shape. And overall, it's a game that's fun to go through once, but after that, there's no real reason to play it again. And then there's an arena. There's an arena section of the game where you can play against, you know, just one-on-one fights and things like that, and it's a little bit different. And again, with the multiplayer, it's different, but there's just not enough of a core at the heart of this game to really bring you back. So I mean, for a rental, It's not bad. You go through it once, take you maybe 5-6 hours to go through the entire game. There's no real reason to play it again. But aside from that, the game features good graphics. The control is decent. And it's not a horrible game, but it's just something that if you're a true hack and slash fan or a true, like, you know, hack and slash RPG guy, you might want to just go back to the PS2 and play Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance or Champions of Norrath or something like that. Or Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 is much better than this, and again, you can buy Castle Crashers on the Xbox Live Arcade. That is the game that this game, I feel, tries to mirror and tries to compare itself to, but in the end it just falls flat. And even though it's not a horrible game, it's still slightly mediocre. So again, it may not be for everyone. It's not exactly horrible, but it's not exactly worth your time.